Hey, I'm NojiNora。アメリカの皆さん、どうもNojiNoraです。日本から大好きな自作ラーメンを届けます。I am a ramen maniac from Japan, recreating Jiro-style ramen at home and sharing it with you all. Let's get cooking. NojiNora's homemade ramen soup. Yeah. This garlic-headed guy is NojiNora. Nice to meet you. Today, I'm making a tonkotsu-style ramen broth. In Japan, it's called Jiro-style ramen. Jiro-style. Think of the tonkotsu ramen, but with extra pork flavor and punch of garlic. Pretty appetizing, right? First, I fill this 30-liter stockpot with water up to about 60%. Oh, before we start, I usually add a lot of Japanese and English captions. But this time, it's just me talking in English. Sorry, no subtitles today. And I have to apologize again. I filmed with a different setup this time. And some clips even got lost along the way. So there are a few gaps in the footage. Sorry about that. Please forgive me. Alright, let's get started. I've added pork bones and pork backbone to the stockpot and turned on the heat. Next, I'm throwing in a ton of garlic. As the broth simmers, I'll keep adding more garlic along the way, so all that punchy flavor melts right into the soup. This huge piece of meat I'm holding is a block of pork belly I grabbed from Costco. I've tried a lot of different pork belly blocks, but this massive one from Costco is by far the best, because it's such a huge cut. When I roll it up into a pork belly log and simmer it for hours, it still comes out soft and melty in your mouth tender. To remove any gamey smell, I wipe off the meat juices really well. Then I'm cutting this block into 6 pieces today. These huge cuts of pork release their flavor into the broth, creating the rich, savory base that makes Jiro-style ramen so delicious. I've cut the giant pork belly into 6 pieces. Now we are in business. Each block gets rolled up into a pork belly log and tied with kitchen twine. By tying the rolls tightly with strong pressure, there's no gap between the layers of meat. That way, when it turns into chashu, the juices stay locked in, and you get tender, melt in your mouth pork packed with flavor. That's the key point here. Rolling up this pork belly into logs is such a calming, almost meditative task. There's something really satisfying about focusing completely on it. Alright then, let's take a moment to focus on making these pork belly rolls. Just watch. Looks like we are ending up with a crazy number of pork belly rolls. You can already imagine how rich and porky this broth is going to be, right? And that's the last one rolled up. Look at these belly logs, all set to become delicious chashu. Can't wait. Here's hoping for the most delicious tonkotsu pork broth. Alright. Pork belly roast into the soup you go. I also dropped an onion into the broth. Sorry I didn't catch that part on camera. Adding an onion brings a subtle sweetness to the soup, so I definitely recommend it. Once everything's in the stock pot, I'll simmer it gently and skim off the scum as it cooks. for the first hour or so. Keeping it on low heat helps the pork belly rolls turn nice and tender. Every so often, I stir the pot and flip things over, so the heat spreads evenly through everything. After simmering on low for an hour, I'll switch to high heat for 2 more hours to finish cooking the chashu and deepen the broth. When the heat goes up, more scum rises to the top, so I'll keep skimming it off. That's how you get a clean, pure tasting broth. While the soup is simmering, I'll prepare the kaeshi tare for marinating the chashu. For the kaeshi tare, I mix light soy sauce and dark soy sauce in a 1:1 ratio, then add just a touch of MSG. The reason I use 2 kinds of soy sauce is to control the color. If I only used dark soy sauce, the chashu would turn completely black. So by mixing in light soy sauce, I can keep the color balanced and aim for a nice looking finish. The chashu is done after 1 hour on low heat and about 2 hours on high. It's come out soft, jiggly and packed with flavor. Since it's so tender, I carefully lift it out into another container so it doesn't fall apart. See how carefully I'm moving the chashu. After all that work shaping it nicely, it'd be a shame if it fell apart now. Once I've moved all the pieces, I'll let them soak in the kaeshi tare. The marinating time in the kaeshi tare is super important. If you leave it too long, the pork gets overly salty. With chunks this size and this kaeshi tare recipe, about 45 minutes is just right. During those 45 minutes, I keep flipping the chashu so the flavor seeps in evenly. And now, 45 minutes later, it's ready. Since I can't eat all 6 chashu rolls at once, I'm getting them ready for the freezer. I pack them into food-safe bags, press the air out, and freeze them for later. With this kaeshi tare recipe, the chashu takes on a beautiful brown color. When it's pressed on top of the ramen, that look alone makes it irresistible. This time I went with rolled pork belly, but you can also make delicious chashu using shoulder or even leg cuts. For this batch though, I wanted that beautiful look and melt in your mouth texture. Broth, using a giant cut of pork like this Costco block draws out a deep, rich flavor for the broth. When you end up with this much amazing chashu, the excitement goes through the roof. You'll be seeing these in upcoming NojiNora ramen videos, so stay tuned. Let's taste this freshly made chashu. Before eating, I snip off the twine and slice it up the care. And just look at it while cutting. Total food porn, right? Wow, this chashu looks amazing. I wish I could share it with all of you. Whew, can't wait to dig in. I feel like I could eat the whole roll myself. Itadakimasu. Let's dig in. It's tender, packed with rich pork flavor, and still has just the right bite to it. Honestly, this chashu is incredible, best in the world. Sorry to brag, but it's true. The next day, I keep simmering the broth. This time, I'm adding pork back fat to make that melty, rich topping fat for the ramen. Once the broth comes to a boil, I scrape out the marrow from the bones with chopsticks to pour out even more flavor. After simmering for another hour, the back fat turns melty and rich. I didn't capture it perfectly on camera, but after about 2 hours, I take the back fat out of the pot. After removing the back fat and simmering for 1 more hour, the broth is finally ready. To store it, I portion the soup into food-safe bags and freeze them for later. This batch made enough broth for about 30 bowls of ramen. You'll be seeing it in upcoming NojiNora videos, so stay tuned. Thanks so much for watching until the end. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now. Nojiro no life. Thank you.